Hi everyone, this is NHL News Reports. We're back in the video, and today we're talking about the Washington Capitals. And the Washington Capitals, we see a record broken, or milestone, I should say, with Alex Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin at 800 goals. What's next to break the goal record? So let's look at the goal record with Wayne Gretzky in the top five. What do we got? Well, Ovechkin, finds himself here. How long is it gonna take? You're gonna find out at the end of the video, so make sure you watch to then. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. With Alex Ovechkin, obviously this is amazing, 800 goals. So that is quite a thing. So first of all, let's look at most goals in the NHL. Doing top five, I was thinking doing top eight, but I thought top five, is fine because Ovechkin's definitely in the top five, right? Starting off at number 5, you have Brett Hall at 741 goals. Obviously, that's pretty amazing for, his father being Bobby Hall. And, not many people thought that Brett Hall would be like Bobby Hall. They thought he wouldn't be as good as him. Well, he's in top 5 of NHL history for goals, 741. So there you go, Brett Hall is there now. Pretty impressive to have about 700 goals. It is. Even 400 goals in the NHL is like, wow, 400 or 500 goals, you are a great player, but 700, 750, around that's quite amazing, isn't it? Going on to number 4, we have his Jaromir Jagr. He's at 766 goals. Obviously, Jagr has been through so many seasons. He's still playing at age 50 in Czechoslovakia for his team. Obviously, if he stops playing, the team kind of, goes bankrupt literally because, everyone kind of, they go there just to watch Yago. So he owns the team too, so it's kind of like if he retires and it's like, what happened to the team, It's not exciting without having Yago there. But, he did have 2 points in like the first like game or something, so that was good for him. Obviously, he changed his method over time. That's all in the video, but changing his ways of the NHL, which is pretty incredible. 766 goals. Moving on to number 3, who we'll be talking about today. Alex Ovechkin finds himself at 800 goals, 3 goals against the Blackhawks. He was, what was it, 97, and he scored 3 goals to get to 800. That's a special moment right there. 3 goals to get right to 800. Quite amazing to do that for sure. So good for him. He still has a little ways to go now. There is still a climb here for Alex Ovechkin. We'll get to that in a moment. Going on to number 2 is Gordie Howe. He's at 801 goals. So he could tie him in the next game if he scores. Just 1 goal would be nice. But he definitely is going to pass him, obviously. And looking at Wayne Gretzky at number 1, 894 goals. Quite amazing. I don't think anyone's really going to beat his point totals, over 2,000 points. But it is achievable for also Ovechkin to get the most goals in NHL history at some point in his career. So let's look at when. So when is this all going to happen? Obviously, this is amazing. People love this happening. The Capitals know they can't go through a rebuild, even though their team kind of maybe should go through a rebuild. The kind of, the older team. You have a lot older guys on the team, including Ovechkin, who's 37, Backstrom, Oshie, Carlson, just to name a few there. But this team can't go through a rebuild to get this milestone to be or break the record of 894 for goals. Looking at Alex Ovechkin, his contract, you think about Alex Ovechkin, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, and he probably will become the greatest goal scorer of all time. I'm not saying the greatest hockey player of all time, but the greatest goal scorer of all time most likely will become, or I would say will be, Alex Ovechkin. He's 37 right now. He did sign a $9.5 million deal last for the 2021 to 2022 season. That was his extension he did through 2025 to 2026. So he got 4 years to get and break the record of Wayne Gretzky at 894, sorry. So, there's a chance. Just look at his career right now. In 1,305 games, which is pretty crazy, 800 goals, 644 assists for 1,444 points, and a plus 75 in his career. Playoffs, 147 games, 72 goals, 69 assists for 41 points, plus 5 in the playoffs. So obviously he's been around for a long time. Drafted in 2004, and yeah, first overall by the Washington Capitals. And how could you ever go wrong with this pick? So when is the question, right? But before I do, remember that year was the 16 to 17 season? He only scored 33 goals, and everyone's like, "What's that all about?" Right? So ever since then, he turned things around. 49 goals, 51 goals, 48 goals, 24 goals, obviously, because of the shortened season with 44 games, with the pandemic. 50 goals, 20 goals so far this season. So he's on a pretty good, he can get there. I remember when the first article came out, can he do it? And some people, I don't know, yes, no. But now it's, so when? So let's get into that now. So when? So, here we go. Looking at the next 4 years, what does he need to do to beat his record? Looking at 2022 to 2023 season, which is this year, he should get about 40 goals. 40 goals-ish. He's on the record. He already has 20 goals, so he's obviously going to get 40 goals unless he gets injured. But, I doubt that. He's pretty healthy for playoffs, so 40 goals is attainable for this season. Obviously, that would be fantastic. 40 goals would be nice to have. Moving on to the next season, next season, obviously, 2023 to 2024 season, he needs at least 30 goals to do it. So, 30 goals, and then you look at 2024, 2025 season, 25 goals, and then 2025 to 2026 season, 20 goals. Obviously, he's 37. He hasn't slowed down, but it feels like he's never going to slow down, right? And he's got 4 seasons to do it. How far? Let's say, all right, you look at 894. Let's see if he tied. Let's say he ties it. Okay, he ties it, or let's say he gets 895. How much more does he score to extend this record? Does he get to 900? Does he go 900 plus? I would imagine he would, if he could, if his body allows him, literally, to get that. It'd be interesting. Obviously, I don't think he's gonna get 1,000 goals. It's just not possible. That's just not going to happen. Yeah, I don't think he's looking at that, right? So probably maybe 920, let's say 915, 920 would be a good market for him if that happens. But, obviously the record is 894. Anything past that would be remarkable. But, I wouldn't, be surprised if he gets to like 915 to 920 goals and then retires, you know what I mean? Something like that would be one of the greatest goal scorer of all time would be crazy for sure. So we'll see what happens. It's quite interesting of this whole run. Thinking about it, and it's getting even closer and closer. And the Capitals don't want to go through a rebuild because they know how this is going for him. It's special for him. So doesn't mean the Capitals will make the playoffs. I don't know. He got a Stanley Cup. I think he's pretty happy about that. I remember for years they said Alex Ovechkin, fantastic hockey player, but hasn't won a Stanley Cup. But he hasn't won a Stanley Cup every single time. Ever since 2018, it hasn't come up, so that's been nice. But it's been good for him. I'm glad he won the Stanley Cup then, because now he can just focus on the goal record. And if he wins another Stanley Cup in his career, maybe it happens. I don't know. The team's kind of older, so it's kind of hard to say. But you never know. You really don't know. Anything could happen. So, thanks for watching. Remember, 40 goals, 30 goals, 25, 20. But if he gets to 50, it can be a lot easier in that last year of his contract. So, we'll see what happens, right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.